Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. If you've looked at your STR and wondered, why is this property not getting enough bookings? It's clean, functional, it looks fine. If this sounds familiar, this episode is for you. I'll walk you through why your STR isn't booking and what to do about it. Hi, vacation rental owner. I'm Cara. I've designed over 24 properties, all of which charge in the top 10% of their area competitors. This podcast is all about specialized decorating that gets your STR more bookings and helps you make max revenue. This episode is for those of you who have walked through your STR and thought, we decorated this place fine. We have nice mattresses. We clean really well after every guest. Why are our bookings low? If this sounds like you or someone you know, I want to gently suggest that the answer lies in a mindset shift. Today, I'm going to walk you through why decorating an STR is a different beast than decorating a personal home. And we'll talk about some general principles about how certain misunderstandings about decor are probably costing you a lot of bookings. So we are going to cover the differences between successful STR decor and regular home decor. And there really are some critical differences. Why fine, quote, fine, isn't enough when it comes to getting clicks on your listing. How to design for your specific audience. What elements actually make guests hit book it now. And how to tell when your furniture and decor is silently repelling guests. Let's start with how STR decorating is not the same as home decorating. You may have heard me say this before, but it's worth repeating. Successful STR decorating is different from regular decorating. When people decorate their own homes, they typically make decisions based on personal taste, lifestyle, and sometimes nostalgia. And that's totally appropriate in a residential setting. You might choose a paint color because it reminds you of your grandmother's house. You might hang artwork that your kids made in second grade. You might keep hand-me-down a sofa and chair that aren't really stylish right now, but they have sentimental value and they were made well, so they're still comfortable. Now, in our own homes, we decorate for ourselves. And the goal is usually to create a restful space that is comforting to us. But in an STR, your audience is not you. Your audience is your potential guest, and that guest is scrolling through dozens or even hundreds of listings, and your space has to interrupt that scroll. I'm going to repeat that again. Your space has to interrupt that scroll. This means that your decorating decisions must be intentional and strategic. This is because your decor is what people see first. It is your first line of contact with a potential guest. It has to serve the purpose of your business, not just look nice to you. This is about getting eyes on your listing and clicks onto your calendar and getting 5-star reviews that build long-term income. I've done this for my client's home. I've seen it firsthand. It does work to get more eyes, more clicks, more bookings, and those coveted 5-star ratings and great reviews. Now, here's where I see a lot of well-meaning owners go wrong. They assume that because their STR is clean, they put in some cozy elements, it looks like a, quote, nice home, that it's going to perform well. But in this highly competitive environment, this really highly competitive market we're in, looking nice isn't what makes it happen for you. Your listing needs to stop people in their tracks, stop them in that scroll. Okay, now I've kind of been hammering at home. Fine, quote, fine, doesn't get you clicks. Eye-catching photos do. Eye-catching is what gets you clicks, and clicks lead to bookings, which lead to revenue. So to illustrate this, imagine that you are a guest searching for a weekend getaway. You go to the listing website like Vrbo or Airbnb, plug in your destination and some dates, and then suddenly a flood of photos, listing after listing, photo after photo, some with pools, some with views, some with some funky wallpaper, some with very sad beige or gray everything. So guess what you're going to click on? The ones that stand out. The number one reason that STRs don't get bookings is because they don't stand out for clicks. The number one reason listings don't get clicked is because these photos don't stand out. I'm not sure how I can say it another way, but I just really want to drive this home. Standing out is so super important. It is a fundamental part of your marketing. This is why your decor matters. Your photos are your storefront. If the decor is bland, maybe a little outdated, if it looks cluttered, or if it looks boring, people won't even give your place a second look, no matter how clean or how well located or how well managed it is. So, what makes photos pop? What I'm going to give you is a really magical trio for STR decorating. This is my signature proprietary finding. It's something it's a pattern I've discovered. My friends call it the Homey Trinity. And these are the top 3 things that make your STR earn more revenue. So I'm going to give this to you. Number 1, vivid color. Vivid color is the fastest way to catch somebody's attention in a sea of boring listings. This doesn't mean that your whole space has to be rainbow colored, but it does mean choosing some bold patterns or saturated hues that show up well in photos. So think jewel-toned throw pillows, a huge piece of art with some really vibrant blues in it, or even a rich green velvet sofa. That's number 1, vibrant color. Number 2 in this trinity, white walls. White paint, when it's done right, it gives the impression of clean, and clean is what guests want, first and foremost. It makes your space look bright and fresh in photos. It also serves as contrast to your vivid color that you might have, and it acts like a beautiful backdrop, a beautiful canvas to show off your great decor. White walls is number 2. Something Instagrammable is number 3. Having at least one design element where guests will want to take a selfie with it and or share online. That's what something Instagrammable is. It could be a mural, a statement headboard, a neon sign. It could be a really whimsical chair. These details spark emotion, and that's what people remember. It's what they associate with fun. Now, remember that guests do want a fun and memorable experience. And actually, something Instagrammable is what makes people want to come back. From what I've seen, it's the most effective element for repeat guests. Now, if your listing is missing any of these 3 things, you're likely blending in, at least somewhat, with everyone else's listing. And you can't do that in how competitive our industry is. You need to be standing out for your STR business to do its best. Next principle, some decor should blend in and some should stand out. That's the nuance. Not everything in your STR needs to be bold or scream for attention. In fact, if everything is in your face, the space becomes chaotic and uncomfortable. It looks like a cartoon. I know of a company who is trying to make every single one of their properties like a cartoon. But successful STR decorating is still sophisticated. It means knowing what should stand out and what should fade seamlessly into the background. This is where a lot of homeowners get stuck because they don't have the trained eye to strike that balance. So, for example, your sofa, it might be a great place for a neutral, high-quality fabric. But your pillows and throw blankets, that's where you add color and pattern. Let's think about your dining chairs. Maybe they're a really classical wood tone, but your pendant light over the dining table, that's where you make a statement. Without this kind of intentional contrast, either everything competes or blends in and becomes invisible. You want a clear focal point in every room and some statement supporting items that make it shine. If all of this seems complicated, it actually is. Correct decorating really is a very complex process. There is so much to consider, from your location to your house architecture style to how to market to your ideal guest. If it just seems like too much, I hear you. And I'd be happy to talk with you about it and see if we would be a good fit to work together, to see if we can make your STR the very best it can be, so that it can be a big part of helping you make max revenue. I've seen it done. I want that for you. I will leave my contact info in the description box because I can make the decorating process really easy for you and effective. Let's move on to furniture that actually lasts. Here's another reason your STR might not be booking well. Your furniture looks and feels tired. Here's what I mean. Furniture wears out in how it feels. You know, like a lumpy mattress, it gets worn out from use, like a faded, worn out leather sofa. Furniture also wears out in style. Absolutely. It's pretty much the cost of doing business that sometimes furniture needs to be replaced. So even if it was brand new when you launched your rental, STR furniture takes a beating. Guests sit on it differently than you do at your own home. They don't take care of it. They eat on it. Their pets will jump on it, as do their children. And if it wasn't high quality to begin with, it's probably showing wear very early on. Durability is non-negotiable. You cannot buy the cheapest couch that you see on Wayfair and expect it to last through a year of bookings. You're going to need performance fabrics because those resist stains and wear. You need really solid furniture frames with reinforced joints. When I'm talking about this, I mean to avoid particle board, avoid staples in wood furniture, and instead go for dovetail, mortise and tenon joints, real wood joints that are made by carpenters. And this will give you durability. Next, you can get metal frames or slatted wood frames for beds with a center support rail down the middle so you don't end up with a sagging mattress and an uncomfortable night's sleep that will give you bad reviews. You also should have really hard wearing tables. So for example, avoid glass tops that are going to break at some point and that show every fingerprint and get scratched and chipped. Quality furniture sometimes costs more upfront. It actually doesn't always cost more, let me tell you that. Bad decor typically costs as much as good decor. You just need to know what you're looking for. If you're replacing items constantly or you're not getting good reviews because things feel flimsy and cheap, you're losing probably a lot more money than you realize. Now, here's a pro tip. You can find excellent durable pieces on Facebook Marketplace. Secondhand furniture can be amazing if you know what to look for. Like a solid vintage dresser will outlast a trendy flat pack one every time. Next, you have to design for your audience. Here's a question I want you to ask yourself. Who are you trying to attract? Trying to attract a special audience subset like business travelers, that can be a really smart marketing move. STRs that are just super generic end up, again, just blending in. But STRs that are designed for a specific type of guests become destinations. And this is true whether you design and are trying to attract families, couples, like I said, business travelers, maybe the older generation who wants to go on an extended vacation. So let's say that your STR is in a downtown area with lots of business travelers. Let's go back to the business travelers. Do you have a super comfortable desk setup? Do you have fast Wi-Fi and a coffee machine that's actually better than what they can find at a hotel? Do you have an iron, a steamer, a mirror with great lighting for guests to get ready for their business meetings? Or let's change the focus and let's say you're near a national park and you want to attract outdoorsy type adventurers. What you're going to need are a mudroom area with hooks, and a bench. You'll need a washer and dryer, bins for storing boots and gear, and also think about providing local hiking guides and maps. And I mentioned attracting families. Then you better have bedside night lights, plug covers, a pack and play or high chair, really easy to clean, durable furniture. So the point is your decor and your amenities need to make life better and more enjoyable for your ideal guest. And when you nail that, you'll start attracting more of them. Your property will stand out for them. Okay, let's go over some common mistakes that cost you bookings. We've gone over some things to do, and so let's look now at things that might be quietly sabotaging your STR's potential, things not to do. Mismatched or leftover furniture. If your STR feels like a garage sale, guests won't associate it with a good, high-quality experience. Even budget travelers want a space that feels cohesive and nice. And this is where knowing how to buy quality really matters. Another problem is not having professional photography. If you've taken your own listing photos with your iPhone, I can 99% guarantee, maybe 95% guarantee you're losing bookings. Great design needs to have great photos to sell it. Bad lighting. Do you have only overhead lights? Are your lamps dim? Do you not have any ambient lighting? And I know that that's kind of a designer term. Ambient lighting are just those pretty lights that aren't task lights, like in a kitchen, but they give a soft glow, like lamps and picture lights. Guests need to feel layers of light to feel comfortable and actually to feel safe. The next thing to not do is have a tiny rug. These might seem like a small thing, and literally they are small, but area rugs that are too small make a space feel disjointed and cluttered. Cluttered is a big no in our industry. Rugs should ground your entire furniture grouping, not float in the middle of the floor. Sometimes, actually, the mistake can be having a rug, because if you're marketing to those of the older generation, and that is a huge section of the market that could be your opportunity, you shouldn't have rugs for them at all. But you still have to make your interior look amazing to attract those guests. They are discerning and they have money to spend. It needs to be amazing to attract them. The next thing not to do is generic artwork. Artwork is such a big soapbox for me. You are not staging a generic hotel. You want art that feels intentional, not like it came from a 3-pack from the clearance aisle. There is so much great art to choose from. Plenty to make your STR feel like a jewel among a bunch of rocks. All right, so what I've given you actually kind of adds up to a decor formula, and it will earn you more revenue. So here's a quick summary for STR decor that assists you to book more nights and get more revenue. Use white walls as a clean canvas. Add pops of vivid color through textiles and accessories, and sometimes main pieces, but you have to know how to do that to do it well. Choose at least one Instagrammable feature in your listing. Balance standout decor with blending items that you don't want to stand out. Furnish with durability in mind. Design with your ideal guest in mind. And get professional photography to show it off to its very best. Now, I want to be clear, none of this means that you have to be fancy. This isn't about spending tens of thousands of dollars on a luxury makeover. It's about being strategic. Strategic is our operative word, and making your STR the best it can be to reach your business goals. I've helped dozens of STR owners increase their revenue just through making their decor its very best. And actually often using what they already own in its very best way. Because at the end of the day, you're not just selling a place to sleep. You're selling a feeling, an experience. And you want your guests to have a wonderful time in your space. You want them to enjoy it. And you can create a moment in time where someone can get away, relax, make memories, and even be their best selves. So if your STR just looks, quote, fine, but still isn't getting booked, it's probably time to stop decorating it in a regular way, like it's a regular home, and start instead on designing it like it's your business, because this is your livelihood. Maybe your life could depend on it. So I hope that this is helpful. Thank you for joining me today. And like I mentioned, if you want some assistance applying these ideas to your own STR, check out the description box. It has my contact page information. It is linked. I do have a variety of services to meet your needs, and I would love to help make your listing and business fantastic. Also, if you have a friend who might benefit from this podcast, will you please share this episode? It might make a difference for them. And I look forward to talking again next time.